What's happening, everybody? It's Sean with Reactions to the Classics, and today we got a reaction to the Seahorses and their only album, Do It Yourself, brought to us by a friend, longtime supporter and patron of the channel, Ian. Thank you, Ian. Always appreciate you. Appreciate all the patrons that make this thing go. If you'd like to help us out in any way, check out the Patreon link below or the patron link on the end screen. We put up content every single day, and that is a lot of man hours. We appreciate any help that the patrons give us. All right, let's jump in this. I didn't even know this album existed. I didn't even know who the Seahorses were. Ian said for September, we have Do It Yourself from 1997, number 2 album in the UK. Their sort of only album, though they did record a second, and it saw some kind of limited release. I have a copy of it, and it's on YouTube, but it was never officially released, and it's not that great and very unfinished. Would John Squire work without Ian Brown? Could the creativity of the Stone Roses be continued into a new venture? We will find out. The album is largely penned by Squire, but some of the highlights are Helms's contributions with Tony Visconti, giving it a well-produced feel. So I found that the Seahorses were an English alternative rock band formed in 1996 by John Squire following his departure from the Stone Roses. They released their debut album, this album, and began work on a follow-up before splitting up due to musical differences during recording sessions for that album in January of 1999. Commenting on the band in 2002, Squire stated that he, quote, rushed into that one. The Seahorses was more of a rash reaction to leaving the Roses than a considered option. And I don't think I'm the kind of artist who can cope in a proper band democracy. I require too much control. At least the man was self-aware, right? I hate having my ideas refracted through someone else. I've tried in the past to be accommodating and make the band a complete outfit, but only to have it thrown back in my face. I'm loath to ever do that again. This is a man who did not have a good experience, eh? The album's cover features a photograph of Squire's 1996 sculpture in the shape of globe made of puzzle pieces and also named Do It Yourself. The album was released to mixed to positive reviews but was well received by the British public. As Ian said, it went to number 2 in the UK charts behind Gary Barlow's solo debut Open Road. Never heard of Gary Barlow. And went on to gain platinum status after selling over 300,000 copies in the UK alone. Went to number 1 in Scotland. Featured 3 charting singles. I'll tell you what those are whenever we get to them. One of them has Liam Gallagher's first songwriting credit. NME readers voted the Seahorses the 4th best new act of 1997, and Guitarist Magazine readers voted Do It Yourself the 10th best album of the year. So they definitely had something going here. A short UK tour in December 97 with support from Third Eye Blind promoted the album's release, as its subsequent supporting slots with the Rolling Stones, U2, and Oasis. So, I mean, these guys weren't out here hanging out with second-tier bands, right? Ongoing recording sessions yielded the 1997 single You Can Talk to Me. UK went to 15. Modern rock charts in the US that actually went to 30, but everything else was aborted in 1999, like I said, and that was it. The Seahorses are, of course, John Squire on guitar and artwork. He did artwork for a couple of the singles as well. Chris Helm on vocals and acoustic, Stuart Fletcher on bass, and Andy Watts on drums and backing vocals. You also have Lily Hayden on violin in here. As Ian mentioned, Tony Visconti did production arrangements. Conductor, he also did mellotron and theremin, so he was all over this thing. All songs are written by John Squire, unless I note otherwise. It's the first time you join us. The music will not be in the video, but it will be at a Vimeo link below, so check that out. Let's get after this one. Got our opening track, I Want You to Know, written by Chris Helm and Stuart Fletcher on this one. Ian says this track has clean, simple sound, almost like it was recorded on a 4-track until the last minute. Each element is well produced. Squire's guitar is excellent, but not over the top, and Helm's vocals are well balanced. Ian gives a grade to every single song. I love it. He gives this one a 7.5. I'll have the lyrics up as always. Thanks again, Ian. I Want You to Know. I will tell you, man, Squire's guitar at the start really does make it sound somewhat Stone Roses type, right? Just a really well done opener, man. It's a nice rock, and the guitar is the highlight of it. Chris Helm's vocals are fantastic. I don't really know what the song's about. Maybe this guy's used some people. I don't know. He said, well, there's a tried and tested potion that I know. Go out and get loaded. Go and give it a go. I want you to know, I want you to know, were all of your cards marked in advance as you threw them on the table? There's no such thing as a second chance. So I don't know. But just a really nice soundscape, man. I enjoyed that song a lot. Next up, we have the second track, Blinded by the Sun, actually written by Helm. Ian says, my favorite song on the album is not written by Squire, though he does contribute a supporting guitar track. The added strings give the track an epic feel. Helm still plays this on solo tours. He often accompanies the Blue Tones' Mark Morris as a support act. Got a blue tones up that was fantastic, and performs this with the whole audience singing along. Really special song. Ian gives it a 9.5. He does not hand those out very often, I can tell you. Went to number 7 in the UK. You see it below on the Spotify, but we're going to go watch the video for it. Blinded by the Sun. Clever little video, right? They didn't just mail it in, man. They got some nice effects on there. It's good to actually see them, but a great song. I can see how the chorus, the la la, it's a very well delivered chorus. This girl has messed him over, or his significant other has messed him over. How would you feel if I was to kneel down right at your feet right now? Is that the way it's going to be from now on until forever? Let's have less of getting clever with me. Who would you blame for blowing the flame out right now? Is it me? There is no doubt. I can do what I want to do from now on until forever. Let's have less of getting clever with me. And then, of course, you're wasting your time and my time as well. La la, living a lie. I guess that time will tell. You're making excuses for the things you've never done. Walking in circles, blinded by the sun. Blinded by the sun. And then the outro. I don't mean to sound unkind to you. You'll just have to go and find something else to do. And don't ask me what went wrong. The list goes on and on and on. And he keeps repeating it. That's the whole song. But it's so well done. It's so catchy. Everything on the instrumentation is so tight. And Helm sounds fantastic. Next up, Suicide Drive. Ian says a competent song with a macabre theme. More of the same well-produced, crisp, good bass, good drums, nice vocals, Squire guitar. They'll mix it up a bit towards the end to add some interest. Enjoyable song, not one I'd put on specifically, but listen to the album as a whole, I enjoy. He gives it a 7.5. Suicide Drive, it was a nice song, man. I like Squire's guitar in there, and I thought Chris sounded fantastic, man. It's kind of what it sounds like. Please, may I leave the table? I don't think that I'll be able to swallow your family values again today. Then we just get a little verse in there, a little two-line verse just because it rhymes. Because a giant squid, he stole my wife and kid. Makes no sense whatsoever. But it does get a little serious. Sometimes this world just drives you crazy lately. Yeah, and the smoke gets in your eyes. Run the exhaust back inside, close the window, and take a ride. I've got a place to go, nowhere to hide on Suicide Drive. Been talking about driving as fast as he can. And then that little change up 2.5 minutes into the song. It's only 3.5 minutes long. The mile after mile. And then the super duper mega hyper Chaka Blaka Isles. Hey, I got through it, right? Where he just does have that change up in there. But great melody, great guitar work on there. I enjoyed that one. Now we go to Boy in the Picture. Ian says a sentimental song with a melancholic feel. One of Squire's better songs on the album. Ian gives it an 8. The Boy in the Picture. Squire's guitar works fantastic. Chris sounds great. Chris is asking the boy in the picture, which is himself. It's been 20 years. Kind of what happened. If you find somebody that you need, he tells them, go ahead and tell her, show her what you mean. Soon you'll find that love is blind and free. If you see Sally or Smokey, say hello from me. Tell them I hope they're happy. So, did Sally leave him for Smokey? I don't know. And then how's the brother been? He's still too thin. Then the boy in the picture, he asked me, got any tips? Where do I go wrong? And who am I going to be? But he doesn't answer that question. Because a lot of times in life, it's so cliche. But the journey is the beautiful part, right? Both the good and the bad. We learn things and it shapes us. So you can't tell the boy in the picture. The boy in the picture's got to figure it out and he's got to live through it. Now we've got Love is the Law. You see it below. We're going to watch the video for it. Charting at number 3, it's the band's best known song, Ian says, in a tour de force by Squire, his best on the album. You probably won't understand half the references in the songs. It's full of colloquialisms and smut. Here's some translation. So this is for me living in the States. Ian's in the UK. He's helping me out here. A rum old slapper is a lady of questionable virtue, slightly past her best. A dogfish egg case is a fish egg case that washes up on shore and is often called a mermaid's purse. Oasis really was a shoe shop in the UK. Capped by the sink is a female contraceptive device left by the sink. Strap-on Sally is kind of self-explanatory. I'll keep it PG. He says the radio mix cuts the 4 minutes guitar outro, but that's half the point of the song. He gives it a 9. I found it was their debut single, their biggest hit, and their only song to gain popularity outside the UK. It debuted and peaked at 3 on the UK singles charts in May of '97. Topped the Scottish singles charts the same week. It also reached number 11 in Ireland, number 38 in Sweden, and outside of Europe, it received some airplay on North American radio, and its music video aired on MTV and VH1. This exposure allowed the song to reach number 3 on the Canadian alternative chart as well. Speaking of that video, let's check it out. Love is the Law. So as you saw, and if you're watching along on Vimeo, and you should be if you're not, we watched the video, but then the video of course cut off. It's a single edit. It cut off it was really 4.5 minutes of instrumental run here, which the song probably wouldn't have even been in my favorites because it is a little outside of my American being able to totally identify with. I thought it was a good song, but that ending, like 4.5 minute coda instrumental, just jamming. I mean, Stuart Fletcher was awesome on the bass on there as well, and Andy Watts' drums. Obviously, Squire's guitar work is the maestro performance there, but I mean, Fletcher on the bass was really slapping as well. So that made this song really, really good. So we just kind of got the video and audio hybrid there. DJ Sean remixed it for you. All right, that was a good one. Now we'll come up to the halfway point of the album. There's 11 songs. This is song number 6. Happiness is egg-shaped. Ian says another well-produced and enjoyable song that progresses well. Nothing astounding, but just as you're about to get bored, it switches it around enough to keep you interested. He gives it a 7. Happiness is egg-shaped. Basically, he's getting rid of this girl. He's kind of telling her how it is. He said, I'll tell you something. I'll tell you true. I've got a letter to send to you. You're too busy dreaming. So what am I going to do? Got to get you right off my back because you're no fun girl. My whole world's turning black because you're no fun girl. I know there's 2 sides to every story. You can keep your kiss of death because I choose glory. Yeah. So, and then we just get a nice long instrumental run. This is the second song on here where I could definitely hear some Beatles influence. Oh, this was a good song. Now we're up to Love Me and Leave Me from Squire and Liam Gallagher. We're going to watch the video of it, actually. This song has a Beatles linen feel. Okay, I forgot that Ian even put this in here. Co-written by Liam. Only went to 16 in the charts. Nothing much more going on lyrically, which lets down a sound song. Can't help but feel it was chosen as a single due to its co-writer, rather than it being one of the best songs on the album. Probably quite true. But Ian gives it a 7.5. All right, Love Me and Leave Me. Nicely done video. Although if I was filming it and the strobe was going on and off for hours, it'd probably mess with them a little bit. Good guitar work. And I mean, you know, the vocals are spot on all the time, I think. I mean, I think Chris Helm's a really good vocalist, man. You know, it starts out all the things he doesn't believe in, then he believes in lovers, he believes in friends, he believes in heaven here on earth till the beginnings and the ends. Love me and leave me. Don't you ever tell me it came from above. Just love me and leave me to love. I believe in heroes, I believe in stars, I believe we'll meet one day, say hello in some astral bar. I believe in brothers, so it's kind of interesting that Liam Gallagher wrote this, right? I know you know who you are. Here's to those who bore us and made us what we are. Love me and leave me. So, I don't know. I mean, it was fine, but I'm with Ian. I think it was released as a single, obviously, because Liam Gallagher was a co-writer on it. All right, we got 4 songs left. We got Round the Universe. Ian says another competent and enjoyable song. He gives it a 7. All right, Round the Universe. Just a nicely done song. I thought the musicianship on this one was super well done. I mean, a little Beatles influence on here. I mentioned at the start the guitar work, a little Revolution. I think he just used the motif on the songwriting of he's an alien crashed into her life, kind of taking her by storm. I don't think he's really an alien, but maybe he is. But yeah, it's a nice tune. It was fine. Now, I'm very familiar with the song called 1999, just not this one. Ian says the weakest song on the album in my view, but still it's pretty good. Gives it a 7. 1999. Nice song. Once again, the guitar work. I mean, it's going to be a broken record with John Squire. The guitar work's going to be great. The guitar work was really nice. She likes to rise early in the morning. She does her best to blow the cobwebs away. And if it's still light, maybe she'll skip breakfast and hope that someone can throw a little stardust her way. Yeah. So she likes to rise early in the morning. And if it's still light. So this kind of lets you know this is actually, this girl's a party girl. And she's just like is a creature of the night and early morning and then goes to sleep. And kind of just goes over that her night that she had with some clever wordplay there at the very end. 1999 was a hell of a year, and then they repeat the first verse, and then that must have been a night to remember. Shame she forgot, and then we get the guitar coda to take us out of there. So I'm kind of with Ian, probably the weakest song on here, but not a bad song. We got 2 songs left. We got Standing on Your Head. Ian says I like the slower tempo and a good vocal performance from Helm. Lifts this a bit above the preceding 2 tracks. He gives it a 7.5. Standing on Your Head. A good song that has it takes a very serious turn, right? He's falling down the staircase. He just don't know how to stop. He's 40 flights from bottom and 60 from the top. He's a man on a mission, as brave as he seemed. A lonely life's ambition got sieved for a brain. And then he kind of goes on and on. It's a long road. We got to make it through. So tell me, what in the world are you going to do? So don't dig yourself any deeper. He starts warning this guy now. The only color that I see is red. My life will be so much sweeter while I'm standing on the top of your head. And when you reach the bottom, when you hit my killing floor, I'll be there to greet you and show you to the door. Then he tells him, it's a bright sunny day, not a cloud in the sky, so say your prayers one last time, because today is the day you will die. And he just finishes off, with your life would be so, you should be better off dead. My life would be so much sweeter standing on the top of your head. You are a sinner, don't let me down. No, I'll never forget you put me down. You run like a cheater, I'd still got you. You can tell me to do anything you want to do. So, wow, man. I like Helm's vocals on there. They're a little, on that last little verse, he holds the words a little bit more to kind of hold the power of, look, man, I'm going to kill you. So, a nice song. All right, we're going to finish this thing off with a Helm pen tune, Hello. Ian says at just over 2 minutes, this little track rescues the second side of the album from petering out. It's a beautiful and simple ending to the album. Brave of Squire to let Helm open and close the album. I was going to say that. It was the right choice. It's a shame they couldn't continue to collaborate after this album. Hello, a shorter song, but really well done. I think Chris's vocals sound good. Squire's guitar, I just think everything ends in the right way, right? The instrumentation's tight. And he's basically just telling this person, his friend, that, look, man, I may have screwed up, but I hope that we're still friends. He says, for the times we left behind, oh, well, never mind. I'll take you there tomorrow. It's not the path I chose to follow. So, hello, and I hope you're still my friend. I think I'm on the mend, and I don't mean to offend. I wish we all could fly. All I know is the sun, and it's shining way above my cloud, so high it can't be found. So, I thought a great way to end the album off. Now we're going to get to my favorite tracks. Honorable mentions, I want you to know that first song, Suicide Drive and Hello. Faves are going to be the two hits, and I know that seems cliche, but Blinded by the Sun and Love is the Law, though I think Blinded by the Sun is by far the best song on here, and that's saying something. Now, before I get to my overall score, I'm going to give you Ian's closing thoughts. He said, I think the short-lived Seahorses largely succeeded with the Do-It-Yourself album. The band were musically very tight, and Chris Helm was a superior singer to Brown and brought some songwriting talent too. They created a very 90s Britpop era sound and produced a great album that doesn't push any boundaries. It's just a great and enjoyable album. Those people who were expecting something more from Squire were disappointed, but I think this is the most successful post-Stones Roses effort, though he continued to produce worthwhile solo work later with Time Changes Everything and Marshall's House. They're exposed by Squire's vocals, and he's not quite in the same class as a Dylan to make it not matter. It's pretty good insight right there. This is an album for guitar fans. Nothing adventurous to see here, but a brilliant album that works for me and often gets replayed 25 years later and makes 45 minutes disappear. I like the album cover too. So I think he says it very well. This is a guitar-driven album. The lyrics aren't anything that's going to blow you away. They don't need to be, man. You put this on, you jam out, you're good. I thought really everybody on the instrumentation side, obviously Squire's guitar work is the hero, but Stuart Fletcher on bass, Andy Watts on drums. I've mentioned this before with this type of music. Your drummer's got to be fantastic. He's never going to get that drumming solo, but he's got to be really good to drive this kind of music. And Chris Helm on the acoustic and vocals is so good. So I really enjoyed this album. I do think the second side faltered from the first side. It doesn't mean it's bad. I just thought the first side was awfully good. So on first listen, I'm going to get a 7.75. I see how Ian gets to an 8.25 after knowing this album for a while, because you can just spin it and, like he said, get lost, let 45 minutes disappear. So thank you, Ian, for bringing this one. Let me know what you think of this album, you guys. What were your favorite tracks? I think they definitely had some possibilities, and it really is a shame that they did not continue on, because the Helm-Squire duo I enjoyed very much. All right, guys, until next time, I will see you.